All right, I would like to call to order the Arlington Heights Memorial Library Board of Library Trustees meeting for 2023. All right, I would like to call to order the Arlington Heights Memorial Library. Here I am. Okay. Before I do a roll call, I would like a motion to let Trustee Zick attend our meeting person because of the illness. So moved. Okay. All in favor?
Wait a second. Now second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? No. All right. Welcome, Trustee Zick and Trustee Rule. Just one. So we're in good shape. Unfortunately, Trustee Gala could not be here tonight. So let's do a roll call.
Trustee Burrell?
Here.
Trustee Gala is absent. Trustee Kelly?
Here.
Trustee Meadow?
Here.
Trustee Rule?
Here.
Trustee Zick?
Here.
President Samari?
Here. We can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we start the meeting tonight, I just wanted to acknowledge that our executive director, Mike Driscoll's father, Edward, passed away last night. So we're keeping Mike in our thoughts and prayers, and he is obviously not attending tonight. Okay, do we have any public comment? I don't see any. Liaison reports?
No reports.
No reports. I believe they're both still on hiatus. All right. Looking at approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting from July 18th, 2023. Do I have a motion to review or approve the minutes? Second?
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much. Looking at the financial report for the period ending July 31st, 2023. And I wanted to mention that our Assistant Executive Director, Dana Rivia is taking Mike's place at our meeting tonight. So welcome, Dana.
Thank you for having me. So going over the revenue report, we did not receive any real estate tax receipts for the month of July. The library received personal property replacement taxes of $57,100 this month. Copier printer revenue totaled $2,729.84. Meeting room fees were $150. Collection fees for late fines was $90. Lost item charges totaled $1,014.15. July interest income was $30,200.76. Okay, and we did not receive any donations this month. We do not have any reimbursements from the Friends of or the Foundation this month. Other income was at $669. Revenue collected for vehicle stickers totaled $322, and Makerspace miscellaneous revenue was $575.68. The total revenue collected in July was $92,851.43. In terms of expenses, we have 58% of the fiscal year has lapsed, and we have expensed 51% of total operating budget. The favorable variance to date is $571,673, and 12% of the total annual capital budget has been expensed as of July.
Very good. Does anyone have any questions? All right. Thank you very much. Looking at the check register for the period ending July 31st.
Okay, so we've had a number of inquiries. You can refer to page 4, check 1012-023,
I'm sorry, what?
page 4.
Thank you.
We've had it was $880.06, and that was for Jennifer Beggage. And this is reimbursement to a volunteer coordinator for expenses related to attendance at the Minnesota Alliance for Volunteer Advancement, or MAVA. It's a conference in Minneapolis in July, and it advances the power of volunteerism to deepen like community impact and uplifting community voices, building connections, and providing educating and promoting advocacy. Okay, and on page 6, check 101104, precision language and graphics, and the total of $1,298.33. And this is a translation of a community resource document into 5 languages. For on page 10, you can refer to 101011. Age and Amex charges. We have various prescriptions to Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon free time. And those are utilized primarily for programs in the youth services department. These are premiums per subscriptions, so guests are not interrupted with advertisements in the middle of an event, etc. And Amazon free time is utilized on the circulating devices and youth services to provide access to apps and games and the appropriate levels for kids. Netflix charges in contrast are incurred in the collection services department and relate to circulating like Roku devices that we offer part of our LOT, or Library of Things collection.
Great, thank you.
Sure. On page 14, 101107, Ramrod Distributors, there's a check for $3,384.80. So 11 mats were purchased for the core entrance and the Dunton stairs and lobby and elevators. These mats are needed to prevent slips and remove dirt from foot traffic before customers enter the building. On page 20.
How many mats is that? That's a lot of money.
Mats, they're expensive. Not sure the total, but I can refer, but yeah.
Sorry, Dana, do you happen to know, do we rent those or do
I
purchase
believe
them?
we purchased them. And if
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
I know you can rent them, so I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sure. Okay. And then in page number 24, we have 101108 and 101109 is the Elizabeth Amber Ringel and Susan Elizabeth Ringel. That's $300 each, and it's an ASL interpreters for the 17th annual Teen Fest on August 18th, where teen film entries were screened, reviewed, and given awards in a variety of different categories. And then the last one we have is on page 54, 101139, Williams Architect Associates, for the check of $258.75. These are architect fees for the planning of the new windows at the Maker Place.
Wonderful. I have to say, in looking at this, I thought, wow, elevator, like there's only one game in town for elevator business, right? Because
We are on the wrong
yeah,
path.
I see that we get our elevator inspected every year, both, which is great. It's money.
Sometimes.
All right. So I would like to have a motion to approve the check register for July 31st, 2023 in the total amount of $1,126,684.15. Is there a second?
A second.
Could we have a roll call, please? Trustee Burrell,
Yes.
Trustee Kelly,
No.
Trustee Nettle,
Yes.
Trustee Rule,
Right.
Trustee Dick,
Yes.
President Samari.
aye. Good. All right, moving on. Dana is going to take us through the executive director's report.
Thank you. So we've had a lot going on last month. First, I'd like to start off with some global goodies. 17 tweens participated in a series of clues in a gradual uncovering of a photo collage to reveal the destination of the inaugural Global Goodies program. Participants tasted a variety of Turkish snacks while learning about common foods eaten in Turkey and cultural significances. And teens were able to vote and their favorite snacks and thoughtfully shared some feedback on the different tastes, textures, ingredients. Everyone approached this very with open minds, and we're very excited to taste everything from the pomegranate pop to the roasted white chickpeas, and they are eagerly voted unanimously to have a next program, and they're eager to find out the next destination. We also did a great interview leave behind program, which combined a couple departments. We had info services librarian Brittany Coleman partnered with Kate Henry of Maker Place for interview leave behind. So things for job seekers to leave with potential job employers. So they learned about how to use the Maker, the laser cutter and Cricut machine to create tiny envelopes and business cards that they can leave behind for their next interviews. This was the first time that many of the customers had been to the Maker Place. So this program gave a great chance for them to learn how to use the Maker Place and leave behind firsthand look at equipment and tools and the tools available that we have at that space. Moving on to our summer reading challenge. From June 1st through July 31st, we had 3,673 youth ages 0 to 18 who participated in the summer reading program. So, and that's far surpassing the previous high marks of participation set in 2019. So in the past 5 years, we've done really, really well this year. That was very exciting to see that all the hard work that went into that. Customers entering Kids World were greeted with hundreds of blue and red balls that they got to personalize and put into the cabinet. And they're all excited to see it fill up. They were also greeted by friendly teens from the summer volunteer squad who signed up and received custom reading sunglasses with their reading logs. And then the Hub teens who signed up got to take home Frisbees with the Hub's logo. Throughout the summer, participants who had the chance to play Pinko or spin the prize wheel to win take-home activities. And the projects range from making song cubes for babies to building sizzling volcanoes for kids to customizing fabric patches for tweens. Participants earned a free book for every 30 days of reading. And this was really exciting for me to hear, but exciting prizes and encouraging atmosphere led to a total of over 50,000 days of reading logged across the age group. So it's really great to hear. We had, for the summer volunteer squad, we have 113 Arlington Heights teens, grades 7 to 12, gave back through the summer. And they've clocked in 1,136 service hours in June and July and presented library programs and completed other projects to support the library and the community. And these teen volunteers helped register 3,673 youth who signed up for the summer reading through the end of July and were a key component to the success of the program. So that was also very awesome to hear and see happening. The Maker Squad volunteers and the Summer Volunteer Squad were also, staff led the Maker Teen Squad to prepare 14 tweens about the Dremel laser cutter and the Cricut cutting machine. And the teens worked hard to help inspire the next generation of makers, with many tweens making plans to come back and create more in the Maker Place. Also happy to hear that our partnership with District 25, our CERC team created or issued 216 library cards via the library's partnership with District 25. I know we talked a little bit about FanCon last time. We got the final numbers. We were looking at 905 fans of all ages joining us for this, for our 7th FanCon on July 16th, which was a really wonderful and beloved event. This 5-hour event, attendees celebrated fandoms of all kinds of cosplay, arts, crafts, and programming in the Hendrickson Room, and guests pursued the arts and comics and artist alley and completed the villains and heroes and villains trivia game. There are just so many things. You can see the pictures, but if you really want to go see and recap, hit up or visit our YouTube channel for a recap of the video. It's well done. So we're thanking Chris Smith and Stephanie Bautista putting together an excellent video as usual. And a special thank you of the Friends of the Library providing funds for this event. So we also had a wonderful Sunday music hall in the park with a 4-star brass band. Programs and exhibits welcomed 113 music lovers to see a lively performance by the North Star Brass Band. And the band was terrific from start to finish and included a demonstrated history of New Orleans Second Line Street March tradition, which audience members of all ages eagerly joined in marching behind the band. That I'd like to point out is Dilla Thomas's Everything Dope in America comes from Chicago. He's a TikTok and Chicago historian. And Sherman Dilla Thomas visited Arlington Heights to share some of the amazing things that originated in Chicago. It was super popular, 88 attendees across, and including peer library staff were fully enraptured by Dilla's gripping history telling. And, you know, we could learn, and he brought snacks of Garrett's popcorn, Jay's potato chips, Jardinera, lemon heads, red hots, Toast snacks, Green River, and RC Cola, which really set the mood for his for this educational and entertaining event. And then another thing I'd like to point out is that we had mock, and page 7 out of 10, mock job interviews with Have Dreams. Have Dreams is a local partner organization that serves individuals and their families with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. Recently reached out to ask for interview assistance for students completing their job training program. Senior and Accessible Services Supervisor Katie Myers organized a library tour and scheduled mock interviews with the library staff. Rounding out the visit, HR staff explained the library's hiring process and offered job search tips. And finally, we did mention about the gardens. We had an amazing program, our 4th garden and produce swap of the season. Programs and event staff facilitated swaps between 26 gardeners from the lawn of our maker place. A master gardener came and was on hand to answer questions. So about those tomatoes we just talked about, and produce from the library's St. Viatorian giving plot, including kale, green pepper, and sage was part of the swapping, and garden and produce swaps through September. So we still haven't missed all of them, and they'll continue on the 4th Sunday of each month. And then also things that have been doing well are the Inspired by Chef nights at the Maker Place as well. So P&E, our last one was Jennifer Chaika, welcomed 17 culinary events, our attendees to the third in the series led by staff. And none of the, so basically they pick a topic and, you know, go through the recipes. And surprisingly, 17 of the attendees were not familiar with the chef that was picked, but they loved learning about the staple recipes from her collection. And the attendees were able to prepare and collectively decide like what went into the ingredients. And then everyone, you know, it was a very collaborative event. Everyone felt left happy with new friends, new recipes, and a new chef to keep an eye on. And then finally, I'd like to point out that the library's digital collection circulation is up significantly in 2023 as compared to 2022. Digital circulation included library materials checked out on Cloud Library, Hoopla, and Canopy. In 22, the average digital circulation each month was 19,805. In 2023, the average is 21,797 in circulations each month, and which is an increase of 1,992 each month. This is a trend that is expected to continue throughout 2023 and into 2024.
You have an idea why that's
I
happening?
knew you were going to ask me that. And
I mean, is it that we got more comfortable, or do you think? I find sometimes it's easier to find items than it used to be. Like, I don't know.
I'd like to say our great,
Yeah.
you know, marketing and
Right.
all the things that advertisement and like learning about in all of our classes, promoting such works, but it's, I don't know, can we carry some thoughts about why it's going up, but
Society
doing a great job
getting
promoting
better at it. I don't know.
it's getting more comfortable.
You know, I'm not sure. I can't remember our statistic for July.
I'm just happy that it is going in that
Yeah.
direction. So yeah, we do, I mean, if you look at all the dashboard, it is trending favorably.
Yeah.
In a lot of these.
Well, I have to say, just in reviewing all of this, it feels like COVID is over in children's world, right? Like, this is the biggest summer reading program, the amount of volunteers, FanCon, and it struck me that the local teachers and parents are probably thrilled because getting all these kids reading is helping prevent some of the summer learning loss. So that's amazing. And when I was reading about the global goodies, it reminded me around here in the public high schools and St. Vitus as well. Freshman year, they take this class called Human Geography, which is really the movement of humans across different. It's like a geography class, but it's also a history, social studies. Anyway, so they really learn about all these countries that, frankly, some of us probably didn't learn as much about. So I was thinking that they, like that class and those teachers, would really love some of the global things that you're doing here. So that's amazing. And then I say this every month, but sometimes when I read this report, I compare it to our goals that we set with our strategic plan, and we're really meeting those goals. I mean, all of these programs are very intentional in outreach and in meeting underserved populations and different age groups and all that, all the folks that all our stakeholders in Arlington Heights. So I really appreciate that. Does anyone else have any comments?
Yeah, I just want to echo what you're saying and just add on to that a little bit, that I really love what you're doing with kind of trying to hit two birds with one stone, like, having the takeaways at the maker place where, you can like learn about it and then actually go do it. Like, that's amazing, because you could just as easily do it in the Hendrickson room and whatever. But so I just love the intentionality.
I'm happy to pass that along.
Yeah.
Greg?
Yeah, I've got a couple questions here, Dana. It's actually more financial. I'm looking at the dashboard. Couple things. One, where it says on the capital projects, staff, public computers, we budgeted 187,000, but we expended 168,000. I'm just curious, are we done with that yet, or do we still have a little bit to go on that project?
With the computers?
With the computers.
Yeah, the staff, public computer section.
Rich, how far along we are?
Yeah, so we actually have probably 90% plus of the staff done. I believe there's just one department left who's in the middle of an office move, so we're just waiting on them. And then we'll be proceeding to the public computer lab is the second part of the rollout. So we should be moving to that probably in September, and then that'll finish the whole project.
Okay, great. Are all the expenses in already too, or do we have more that we're going to be spending?
I don't believe there would be more. I mean, unless small expenses that came along with it, but there wouldn't be any other capital expenditures.
Okay, so that means we're going to come in under budget, almost $20,000, looking at this as it is. So that's great. The other thing I've got, this is really nitpicky, but when I look at in the dashboard for the 58% of the year last total expenditures, it shows budgeted amount 17.8 million, which is what shows up on the expenditure report. But the actual expenditure, it says 9,003,000 on the dashboard, but on the expenditure report it shows 12 million. I'm just kind of curious, why is there such a big difference between those two?
I thought Tracy was going to be here to answer, but maybe she had to sneak out.
Yeah.
If you don't know the answer, no, that's fine. Please, just get back to me. I'm just wondering, because it seems to me like these should be the end of July reports on both of them, so they should be the same.
Yeah, I'd have to wait for her to get back to answer that.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. You can get back. That'd be great. And that's all I had.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Thank you very much. You did a very good job. I know
Thank
you
you.
did.
Our big shoes to fill.
Yeah. All right. We do not have any old business tonight. So let us move to new business. And one of our favorite presentations of the year, the 2023 10-year, wow, One Book, One Village. Okay, 3 of us. All right.
Rich, do you want to, so we have a, put you in a move.
Thank you. Give us a great introduction. My name is Sherry Tater. I'm an info services advisor, and I am lucky enough to be the lead on the shared One Book, One Village.
My name's Neil Parker. I work in programs and exhibits and
And I am Catalina Chen, and I am the community engagement liaison for the library.
Key members on the list. So thank you. So thank you. This year we are happy to announce that One Book, One Village is in its 10th year. We're really excited to celebrate our 10th year. It invites the community to read the same book at the same time and share an experience through related programs and book discussions. And our 2023 selection is The Two Lives of Sarah by Catherine Adele West. So the whole process starts with the selection team. And this year we had 15 members. These members represent 7 different departments across the library. We had a diverse diversity of opinions, diversity of kinds of roles that they hold here at the library, and different audience that are served throughout the library. And we would also readers who joined the team this year, as well as returning readers have been part of the team before. So the selection process. We opened up nominations way back in December. And during that time, we had 29 nominated titles. And we kept in mind the formatting and the availability limitations that we've seen challenges in the past years with books. We assigned each team member to read 2 or 3 out of these 23 titles. And we read, reviewed, and deliberated on whether they would make a good selection. The conversation around that included many considerations, everything from a broad appeal to the format availability, if it was programmable, discussable, can it sustain a season-long initiative, which for one book is normally a 2-month initiative. It runs for 11 weeks. And we find it very important to keep idea as one of our important criteria as well. And we came up with 3 titles. We narrowed it down to 3 titles, and we gave those 3 titles to Matt, and they chose The Two Lives of Sarah. About the book. The Two Lives of Sarah is a compelling work of historical fiction set in segregated Memphis during the ever-changing political climate of the 1960s. The story takes us on an emotional journey as Sarah King leaves Chicago and finds her way to Memphis to escape the ghosts of her past and carve a new life for herself and her son, Lebanon. She takes refuge in a boarding house run by Mama Sugar, who teaches Sarah that good food brings people together and nourishes the soul. Over time, Sarah's cynical, hard shell begins to crack as she develops a fierce, protective affection for Mama Sugar's grandson and falls in love with his teacher, Jonas. Just as Sarah begins to find peace with her new life, tragedy strikes and she is left to re-examine her life choices. Catherine Adele West's poignant and moving story gives readers a solid glimpse into the racial reality of the times and illustrates how our experiences continually reshape us. This book resonates deeply as we share Sarah's road to learning to live and thrive beyond her trauma and the limits of resilience. The Two Lives of Sarah brings the fortitude to endure, find joy, and be part of a community, even in the most challenging of times.
We are thrilled to present another exceptional One Book, One Village to this year collection. And recognized as the city of neighbors, there is no doubt that our community in Arlington Heights will resonate with themes explored in this book. Themes that revolve around community, family, resilience, race, and generational trauma, and their profound impact on our lives, both past and present. Diving readers in the 1960s, through the artistry of a local Chicago author, this work of historical fiction, which we know our community loves, garners particular significance as it marks a significant milestone. For the first time in a decade, We are not only welcoming a Chicago-born and raised author, but also proudly celebrate the voice of a talented Black author here in Arlington Heights. So very excited to see that happening. Read with us. The Two Lives of Sarah is also available in a variety of formats. This was also something that was very important for us to offer to our community. We have regular print, large print, CD audiobooks, ebooks, and e-audiobooks. We have copies available for checkouts and sets for book groups. We will also have copies of Catherine Ada West's previous novel, Saving Ruby King, which tells the story about Sarah's granddaughter. And for everyone who's interested to read it after One Book, One Village, it will also be part of the
Hey, programs. So I'm very excited to talk about the very diverse 16 programs that we have that illuminate the themes of this wonderful book. We have some service projects that'll take place. So Emily in Programs and Exhibits is going to be hosting 2 no-sew blanket projects with Project Linus. Project Linus provides blankets to kids up to 18 who are seriously ill, traumatized, or otherwise in need. We are having Sound Opinions back for the first time since the pandemic. So I'm really happy for this one. Jim DeRogatis and Greg Koch will be back here. They had the very famous WBEZ show, now podcast. Their program is going to talk about the intersection of civil rights and Memphis soul. As Sherry mentioned, cooking plays a huge role in this book. And so we are also excited to kind of mix that in as well. So we are going to have a recipe box and decorating and recipe swap as well. And then we have 2 culinary programs, shrimp and grits and chicken and waffles. We're also going to lean into some of the historical programs. So we have a program that is going to discuss Martin Luther King's days in Memphis leading up to his assassination. Our local history and genealogy librarian has a program plan that will sort of trace Sarah's journey down to Memphis from Chicago, but also include aspects of genealogy, which could be useful, taking a look at property records and those sorts of things. We are going extremely big this year. So we have been working extremely hard to get together a community barbecue. We're hoping for 400 to 500 people to come to this. There will be caterers, food trucks. We have a DJ Jay Hopkins, pretty well-known DJ from Chicago, who will be spinning some classic soul music. There will be outreach tables, bounce house. This event is family friendly, and so we're really excited for this one as well. And it takes place at Brett Park. Absolutely. So we'll be partnering with the.
When is that?
September 20th.
Saturday, September 23rd from 3 to 6.
Nice.
So cross your fingers for good weather.
Yeah.
Additionally, slide. As always, we are excited for the culmination of One Book, which is our author visit. So this year's author visit will take place at Forest View Theater. Catherine will be in conversation with NPR award-winning journalist Natalie Moore. And this event will be live streamed like last year. So we're making it as accessible as possible for everyone. And a little bit about Catherine. The Two Lives of Sarah is her sophomore novel. And she graduated
University of
Illinois, Champaign-Urbana with a bachelor
and
and
a master's.
a master's in journalism.
I'm gonna jump real quick.
Please.
Since book discussions are my baby. We are hosting 10 different book discussions. Some are ESL, some are seniors, both virtually and in person. One book discussion will be, or actually 2 book discussions will be over at the Maker Place. One, we kind of have started a series called Beyond the Book. And we take a book and we go beyond the book and do something that's relevant. So whether it be a craft or and for this one, we'll be doing some stuff with food and recipes as well. And we are also having a bigger place barbecue. We're partnering with Porky's in downtown Western Heights. And offering it to book club members too, which we've already announced it to them. So we sent it out to 52 different book clubs in the Arlington Heights community. And so far we have, I think, 13 clubs signed up, and that was just announced August 1st. So
How do you find the book club representative?
I have a running list for 10 years. So if anyone's
Yeah.
ever
So if a book club wants to take I mean, I don't know, maybe you called someone from my book club. I'm just curious, and I know a lot of people in different book clubs. Would they call or stop by info services and say, hey, I'm a book club, we want to read this?
multiple things. We have a form that was part of our, which I'll be talking about eventually about, but our website, we have a form that you can fill out for a request to book and what they're looking for. They can call info services, and both Joan Lasky and myself are in charge of that section. So we will fulfill that. We have to stop the info desk. There's multiple ways, but usually everyone knows to filter those to Joan and I, and then we get a sent. And
We're
then
officially announcing it. Not yet.
August 25th.
Right.
That's coming in the gas station too.
I know, too early. Yeah, so.
We are on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Spoiled it. We're playing the White Sox, but people.
Of course they are. Riveting.
So we're looking forward to the same or more community involvement and excitement that we had in the previous years with One Book, One Village. We're very excited that we will be across town in different pop-ups in the community. We'll have a pop-up at the farmers market. We'll have a presence during 2 days of Harmony Fest featuring the Taste of Arlington Heights. We will be at Autumn Harvest. And we will also be partnering with different community leaders and members of the Village of Arlington Heights, the Arlington Heights Park District. We're going to be having a community book discussion with the librarians and the DI staff members of District 214. We're also partnering with our local sexual assault agency, Northwest CASA, which represents Cook County. So we're very excited to see how their mission and their values align to what we're also looking into our idea and what we want to bring for OBOB. OBOB is more than just reading one book, it's connecting people through attending different programs, through participating in different discussions, to finding us at a pub across town. So we're really excited that we can bring that and make an impact to our community. So through One Book, One Village 2020, embark on a collective journey full of profound influence of storytelling, and we're looking forward to what that is going to bring.
All right, our website. So our website really will be the place to go for all OBOB information. The different sections of the website, we will have links for you to place holds on books in all formats. There'll be links to sign up for all of our programs and discussions. There'll be a link to sign up for the author event, and there'll be a link to request books for your book club. So there'll be an extra form for that. We also have the readers advisors here at the library and put together book lists, and those book lists are inspired by the 2 Lives of Sarah and the topics that the book covers. So there'll be a fiction and nonfiction for adults. There's a kids list, there's a tween list, and there's a teen list. So those will be part of the website as well. Our Explore More section is a section that our librarians put together, which is provides many highlights of the themes in the book, and it provides additional resources. So anything that was discussed in the book, they've put together some. If you want to know more about the civil rights movement, if you want to know more about soul music, if you want to know more, there's all kinds of resources in that Explore More section. And then we're really excited about this other new section called Listen and Learn. And this section is going to include, as you kind of see on the right side there, a Spotify list, which I heard you said Spotify. I was like, yeah, we're using it too. A Spotify list, which was created based on the author's playlist. And it has not only the playlist but it will have short bios of the artists of each of those lists and their contribution to the civil rights movement, as well as links to our collection and what we have in our collection that they could check out based on those artists as well. And in addition to that, we're taking that playlist, and for our display, we will have a listening station right next to the display, which we are bringing back. If anyone remembers the white chairs from the circle, we're bringing back the white chairs that are over at the Maker Place that they're loaning us, and going to have headphones and iPads where customers can come in and listen to our playlist as well. So.
The playlist is wonderful. It's superb. I highly recommend a Saturday barbecue, maybe with a glass of wine.
Launch day. So when does this all kick off? Today, we are less than a week away. So next Friday, August 25th is the official launch. And what that means is the display will go up, the listening station will go up. The newsletters will be out probably right before this. Our website will be live, and communication and marketing will be obviously promoting it a lot. So it will be available for everyone to know everything about. You guys are interested. So, any questions? Oh, good. Yeah, I guess we want to do. So we have a copy for each of you to take home, own, read, participate in all of our programs. We also have for you, these are the programs that will be part of, this is it. So you could still keep it in your own copy. Yep, you get to.
I'm sure you have it signed by the author, yeah.
A great opportunity for you to have it signed at the outdoor event by the outdoor.
So this is the programs. These are a mock-up that they hurried up to get ready for you guys. They will be available to all customers to take home. Also, that will be on our display as well. But you can look through. It's beautiful. Our graphics department's amazing, as you will quite see that they're very eye-catching and have provide all kinds of information in there too. So, if there's any questions we can answer for you.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm so excited. It's really terrific to have a local author too. I mean, I think that's going to really add a lot. I mean, it feels like every year you can't get bigger, and you do. I don't know how. How old is she? I can't believe she looks kind of young.
Yeah. She's got shoes on.
Yes.
Not quite sure of age.
So the first novel is about this.
It's kind of interesting. Her first novel is called Saving Ruby King.
Right.
And the story actually takes place after this novel.
Yeah.
So I think she wrote it and said, I have to explain how Ruby got to that way.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when you read this, it's nice to know there's a second novel.
Yeah.
Why how does Sarah get to where she
And she
is?
talks about it in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how it was just like a one line in the first book. And so it just had her thinking, what happened to her story? So this was like, yeah, it's good.
So,
The community, the actual, the barbecue is a great tie-in, obviously.
well, we wanted to do something big for 10 years.
Yeah.
We're like, how do we do something big for 10 years, but make it relevant to the book as well? And that's all programs. They're knocking that out of the
We'll
park.
stop that.
That would be
I love some of the tie-ins here with mental health too. Like it's talking about, postpartum depression and, I mean, certainly there's a lot of emotions that come up with the civil rights movement in general. I think that's such an important part of what on a day-to-day basis our world is dealing with. And so, I think it's great that we're presenting it in a way that is talked about because it's kind of a taboo topic still. And I think I applaud you for taking that up.
It's a theme with the book, it's honest and it's something that, fits in. And
Yeah.
if we can
But
address
instead
it.
of scheming over it and like focusing on just the other aspects, I'm really glad you're taking that initiative. So
We
good
do
job.
have on that explore more section, there is a mental health resources section, which even one of the links to our website, which our libraries always provided a bunch of resources, but it links to that, but as well as.
When I saw it in one of the slides, it's I can't remember the name of the acronym of the organization, but it was something about like trafficked rates, something.
Not
Yes,
Wisconsin,
yes,
and
and so that would be.
yeah, that's another reason we thought that it was a very relatable book, for our community. And we want our local agencies and our local community partners to be part of that too. So Northwest CASA is an organization here in Arlington Heights, is Northwest Cook County Agency for Sexual Assault. So we want to make sure that everyone that's reading the book and understanding the book and discussing the book has also access to resources and information that's available for them and for the people that they know who have either struggled with mental health or any type of issue with sexual assault.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you. Great. Yeah.
Maybe so hungry too, reading.
Yeah.
To learn to make upside down.
Did you read it already?
Yeah, I read it a few days.
Oh,
ago.
it's the Richard.
Okay,
I'm really excited for the discussions because what it is. Yeah, because it just ends that you think so much about like what happened, like we just spend so much time just going different ways, like what happens after it. So there's so much to discuss.
Well, and I think it's kind of interesting to go to some of the different discussions because of course, based on who's there, it's a completely different like conversation. So anyway, that is one choice. All right, now we need to discuss awarding the security door access system project. Would you like to take us through that? Are you prepared?
Rich is here to do
Yeah.
that, right? He's gonna take us.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking me.
Yeah.
Good timing here this evening.
Yeah.
So this project was to replace all of the card swipe system that we've had in the building since late 90s, early 2000. And so we went out for bid on that. We're going to be replacing all of the card readers, the access control systems that are all down in the first floor of the library, and replacing it with something more modern and stable than what we have. The system that we currently have is just kind of being held together with duct tape at this point. So yeah, we went through and
I was
gathered all the,
happy to see that. you
yeah,
got
I
more
was gonna say, we got a
bids.
lot of bids this time compared to the, to the AV system. So we had two very close bids and we actually went through each of those and, you know, did our due diligence and looked through all the requirements for the system and what we wanted and what staff felt was necessary. And we're confident in our decision for moving forward with
Well, it's very impressive that.
voice
they
and sound,
just
video and
so
sound, sorry.
long is-
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, the facilities team has helped out a lot on that. A lot of times they're going down there and resetting it for us and we're like, the door stopped working. And so they're quick to get stuff back in shape, but we've a little bit overdue, but we've made do.
Trustee Burrell.
Yeah, quick question about the cost. So it sounds like it was a little bit over what you had initially planned, just because costs are going up, I'm assuming. So where you have the statement about you plan to underspend by $5,000, do you have an idea of like where that will come from, or you know what you're kind of planning to underspend on?
Yeah, actually in one of our software agreement lines, we had one of our, I think it was a 5-year agreement we had that actually ended up expiring before this year. So I had budgeted $13,000, I believe, for that. And then we only ended up being invoiced $8,000 for it.
Oh,
So
okay.
I pretty much already found the money for it. And so that was just a nice surprise and kind of just works out with this. And yeah, the prices have gone up a little bit just, you know, from when we got the bid and everything with inflation in the last year. So not too bad overall.
When did we receive the bid? Like, how long has it been?
When we got, oh, you mean when I did the quote?
Yeah.
So originally, I mean, I had budgeted this last year in June to, you know, get an estimate of what we needed to budget for it. And then we just went out to bid for it within the last month.
Trustee Zip.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, Rich, yeah, I know. I think when I first came on this board, this thing was outdated and people were talking about needing it to be changed. So yeah, it's definitely needed to be. But to, you know, what Trustee Burrell was talking about, you know, being over, you know, being a little bit over, you know, is, you know, it happens, and I get it with the expenses. I'm going through that myself every day. The only question I'm just going to ask you though, are there any features that we're getting that are nice to haves as opposed to must haves that maybe we don't need, that we can, that we can pull it back? So it's not, I understand you've already got the money saved in one area, but to not have to rely on something like that, is there anything that we can do there?
About the only thing that we could maybe take off of this would be the badge printer, but the one that we have is very old, and again, it works, and you know, I don't think it's worth saving. Other people in the room don't think it's worth saving as well. Could we make it work for a little bit longer? Possibly, but no, I think every piece of the system really needs to be replaced, and everything that's in this bid is pretty much a pertinent part of the system. We don't really have any, you know, high-end extras in here that are unnecessary.
Okay. All right. No, and that's fine. I just had to ask the question. I applaud you actually though for being cognizant of the budget, and recognizing that and trying to find some way to work it out. So for that, I applaud you. And yes, this thing probably needed to be changed 10 years ago. So yeah, let's get it going.
All right, could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to, I make a motion that the Board of Library Trustees accepts the bid for the door access system replacement project from Video and Sound Service Incorporated in the amount of $31,555 pending review of the contract by return.
A second. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Burrell,
Yes.
trustee Kelly, trustee Meadow,
Yes.
trustee Rule. Aye. Trustee Zick,
Yes.
President Samari.
Very good. I don't know if you can see us, Greg, but we can't see you any longer, but Rich is trying to fix it.
It's on the chain.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's just-
I think it's just. on
Yeah, as long as it's
here.
on, okay, it's just not in the room.
yeah. I can see myself.
You may.
I just wanted to take inspiration from, I forgot to mention this before, but we were so inspired by Christmas presentation last time on the Oculus glasses. I kind of asked my staff for like inspiration for next time to what we can wow you with. I just want to show you that one of the Library of Things kits that we put together is a GoPro dog filming kit. I agreed to put this on my dog Lily and see what she sees and what like one of her adventures. So you too can check this out. And I promise, like when I get it together and properly edited, I can show you what happens when we put this on my crazy dog. Just like we're doing fun, inspiring things all the time. And if you have any interest in having this for your furry friend, you can check it out in the Library of Things too. So
Go around like the color.
you know, we'll see. I'm not sure. It's bad. I've seen videos of dogs like doing this.
Like on TikTok.
So we'll see what actually happens when I try to put this on my pooch, but I'm just excited to share this with you and see how this is gonna go.
Well, the village is doing a bunch of Instagram posts where they're doing all selfies today. I don't know if anybody saw that. And maybe we could do that for the library where we all put those on our pets and then we have all these Instagram posts of our pets going around town.
Awesome. All right. Action item number 6. We are going to discuss the 2024 library holiday dates and closing schedule. Just looking at this. It's pretty self-explanatory. Do you have any other notes that you want to share about this?
I have nothing to add to this. No.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I mean, these are pretty basic.
Yeah.
Holidays.
If it's any different from when we approved last year. These are the same. Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, you know,
Yeah.
paid, not paid.
Yeah.
I wish I had the other
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, no, nothing changed.
Nothing changed. All right. Right.
No, I was just going to say, I'll make the motion. The Board of Library Trustees approves the 2024 library holiday dates and closing schedule.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. All right. Cool. Action item number 7, looking at our library trustees schedule of meetings for 2024. You know, Mike included some verbiage here about why the dates were chosen. I will say my preference, I mean, let's discuss this. In my opinion, I find it easier if the meeting was not scheduled, because then staff knows that there's not a meeting that night. We know that there's not a meeting that night. In my estimation, the past 3 Januaries, we haven't had a committee of the whole meeting, nor have we had a committee of the whole in July, because it's very close to July 4th. So that's just my opinion. In September, I think it's fine to move the date, but I'm not sure. I would prefer not to schedule it then. And, you know, so everyone knows that it's not scheduled, but I'm interested in other people's opinions. Trustee Burrell.
I was going to say the same thing. I think it seems like historically there hasn't been one in committee of the whole in January or July. I feel like there are a lot of vacations in July,
Yeah.
so that definitely makes
Well,
sense.
and even in January, it's not that long from our December board meeting and then the holiday, right? So a lot of
Yeah.
people are off work and people aren't here, and yeah.
historically, when we talked about the January meeting, we've always chosen to cancel it because nothing major happens. Everyone, you know, there's so many people on vacations, there's so many people traveling, that any big sort of to-dos and dates and deadlines are going to be not set during that time period anyway.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be pushed before or later. So historically, we haven't had an issue with missing that meeting, and there just really hasn't been. We can always, in my mind, we can always say, you know what, we do in fact need to have a meeting.
Right.
But I think for purposes of staff and fellow board members, you know, knowing that, yeah, I can go to visit my in-laws for the holidays or something like that, and I'm not worried about not making quorum because of my absence,
Right.
things like that might be helpful.
Right.
We can always change our minds and say that if there's something that does come up and add it, but I would kind of say that for all of them, actually, not just the January.
Yeah, I was going to ask about September. I don't. Yeah.
Do we normally have a committee of the whole in September? September you'll have budget, that's the first budget.
It's the first draft of the budget, so maybe we should. I mean, I would be comfortable having, personally, I would go for the 3rd, because I feel like once, I don't know, kids are back in school, or just even somehow Labor Day is sort of the end of summer psychologically for people. However, pardon?
A lot of people still
Yeah.
go get their last hurrah, you know,
Right.
go to the beach, go
Right.
to Michigan.
But I mean, I would be okay making the meeting on the 3rd. Sometimes I think if we move it to the following week, then it's so close to the board meeting. It's like the week before, right?
What did we do this year?
Yes, Greg.
Yeah, I would just say that for that, yes, we don't need to have the January or the July one. We don't need to schedule that. If we do need something, I think, as Andy had said, you know, we can do something. We can add something in. Regarding that September one, I would say that's a pretty big week for people to take that extra day and take the long week. have it on the 3rd. So I would just move it to the 9th. Sure, it only means a week, but we do that every once in a while, and this is one of those times that we do that. Let's not cause ourselves any issues, with that week of Labor Day.
I agree with Greg on moving the September 1 to September 9th, also in consideration of the staff. I think if they have to get the agenda and everything already, it kind of impedes their Labor Day weekend.
Right. Okay.
And I had forgotten about the budget, so I retract all 3 days we should cancel. So I would say that January and July are good to go ahead and cancel at this point. In September, we do it tonight.
Okay. All right, so I would say the motion, the Board of Library Trustees approves the 2024 Board of Library Trustees schedule of meetings with the deletion of the January and July Committee of the Whole meeting and moving the September Committee of the Whole meeting to September.
So moved.
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Anyone against? No? Okay, very good. Thank you. It looks like maybe Mike wanted to discuss the 2023 Illinois Library Association Conference, October 24th in Springfield. Are any board members planning on attending? No, pardon me. Yeah. Okay, if you'd like to attend, let Janet know. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that Mary Hastings, who has been the Director of Communication and Marketing for the past 6 years, has announced her retirement. Mary has led that department through, COVID and all the changes that came with that, and opening of the Maker Place, and she has built a really strong team, and they do such terrific work. I know they've won many awards, so we'll miss her very much. I know she's looking forward to her retirement, and the strangers come and sit in the audience and not work from One Book One Village, even though she lives in Chicago. But the library will miss her, and I know that she left the department in great shape. So I wanted to acknowledge that. Any other?
Hey, Amy, if I just can too, I just want to echo that. Mary, looks like you were going to say something, so I apologize. Thank you for everything that you've done. The conversations that we've had over these years, also working, through COVID and through some of the difficult things that we've had to get the correct messaging out. You've done a great job. It's been great knowing you. It's been great working with you, and best wishes and everything that you're going to be doing going forward.
Thank you. Thank you both very much. I always said to work at Arlington Heights Memorial Library was where I wanted to spend the end of my career. It's the best library in Illinois, I believe, and probably beyond. So it's been a pleasure working with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Equal.
Dana, did you have something else?
No, I just want to say Mary's last day is September 1st. So you have time to reach out to her directly if you want to say goodbye. But also I did have one more promotional thing on Mary's behalf and the library's behalf, is that we are celebrating the Maker Place anniversary on Sunday, September 17th. It'll be from 12 to 3. There'll be a tour, activity, and treats. So please put that on your calendars to enjoy.
September 17th, okay, from when to when?
12 to 3. So
The second anniversary?
yeah, still probably phases I see, but yeah, we're doing great.
And flies.
Yeah.
All right. Any other? No. All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye, Greg.
All right, so long.
Bye, all.
Bye, Marion.
Bye-bye.
And just so I think I told you guys before, I won't be there on the